Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. It's Karen Yates here today. Today I'm going to share with you a page that I have done in my little Gina Wakely white journal. The white journal is a 6x6 journal and it's got really quite thick cotton rag paper in it and it's really lovely. So I'm using some of my Paperartsy paints today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and blend these colours in together so it goes from one colour to the other in a nice way. I hope you understand. Anyway, the colours that I'm using, I think they're called Tango and Lemon Zest. I've got red lipstick, prawn, turquoise, and I think the last one might be glass blue. I'm not 100% sure there. Anyway, so what I'm doing is I've put some colour down in some random spots with my paintbrush, and what I'm doing is going around, so like the red spots with the pink, so I can blend the red and the pink in together. So I haven't got a real paint line of where the red finishes and where the pink starts. So I'm going to do that with all of my colours. So the colours that I have picked are a bit tricky. I should have been a bit easier on myself, but I wasn't. So it's going to make life pretty interesting. And this was actually a bit of a process. So with the orange and the yellow, I'm just doing the same thing as what I did with the pink and the red. But I'm also trying to combine the yellow and the pink in together. So it's kind of, it's an interesting matchup. So now I'm adding in the blues, and really what I should have done is not put blue in there. It would have made my life so much easier. But it does end up quite interesting. So when I'm mixing the red and the blue, obviously that turns into kind of a plummy purpley colour. So I'm getting extra colours as well. And when I come to blend the yellow and the blue, I'm going to get a bit of green, as you can see. So I'm just going through and trying to work these colours in together. Now, Paperartsy paints are a chalk-based paint, so you can do all sorts of things over the top of them, and they are really wonderful to work with. They have like a matte finish, so if you want to add in coloured pencil or other pens, that kind of thing, it's going to go over the top quite easily. So I'm still trying to blend all these colours together, and you can see I've got quite a rainbow happening with the pinks and reds and purples and greens and a little bit of brown too. Yes, I must confess I did get a bit of mud. Anyway, I'm just going to dry that off a bit, and then I'm going to have a bit more of a go. So I'm going to add in some more yellow, which is the Zesty Zing. I'm pretty sure that's what that one is. And just blending it over. Now, the Zesty Zing is actually quite a translucent colour. So by putting that over the top of the orange, you can actually still see the orange peeping through underneath. Some of the other colours that I've picked are opaque, which means that you can't actually see through them. And the other kind of paint that Paperartsy have is a semi-translucent. You get what I mean there. So you can see through it a little bit, but not as translucent as some of the others. So again, I'm just trying to blend these colours in together. So the pink and the blue, or the red and blue, making the pretty purple there, adding in the yellow and the orange, and blending those colours in together as best I can. So it is looking interesting, which is cool, but yeah, maybe if I was doing this again, I probably wouldn't have picked the blues to go in it again, because it made it quite tricky to actually blend them in together. Anyway, I've dried it all off and I'm pretty happy with how it's looking so far. I mean, it is the background, so I am going to be covering it over, but I wanted to do the best that I could in blending those colours together because I knew that I could. It was a bit of a challenge. Anyway, so what I'm doing now is I've got some Paperartsy stencils, and again I'm using the same colours that I've used in the background, and I'm just stenciling through the stencil with it's actually a makeup sponge, and I'm just pouncing a little bit of the paint through the stencil. So you can kind of see it there. So I've kind of picked where some of the pink was and have graduated the stencil using that colour and out onto the other colours. So you can see it maybe a little bit better with that yellow. So I've gone over the yellow, and then some of the yellow bits have crossed over to the top of the orange and the red. So it just creates a little bit more of an interesting background. And this is something that I learnt from Tracy Scott when she was in Australia last year. This is a technique that she does quite often, and it actually looks really cool when you do it. So yeah, so now I'm finding some other parts of the stencils to add in some other colours. Now the stencils, I said, they're all from Paperartsy, but I'm not sure if they're all Tracy's. Some might be Joe's or Sarah Newman's, I'm not sure. I just grabbed them out of the packet and think, oh yeah, I want to use that pattern, and that pattern's really cool. So the other thing to do when you're making a background is to add in some white and some black. So I'm just adding in some white dots. Again, I'm just pouncing that paint in through my stencil. And as you can see, what it does, it really lifts the background page. It makes it pop just that bit more by adding in that bit of white. So the black that I'm going to add in will be with my stamps. So the stamps I'm going to use are Paperartsy ones, and oh gosh, what have I picked? I think these ones are the Zinski art ones, because in my final image I'm actually using an image from Zinski art that I bought off Paperartsy. Not off Paperartsy, off Etsy, my goodness. So I will put a link to that in the description box below, so you can check that out if you want to. Some of my other stamps that I'm using there are from Tracy. So I've got some circles, some flowers I think there as well, and I'm just quickly drying off that archival ink because it can tend to be still a little bit wet. And it's better to seal it before you continue on. So that last thing that I actually did was a piece of bubble wrap, and I've used my Jane Davenport hybrid ink in the white, and I've just stamped my bubble wrap into my stamp pad and then directly onto my paper. And it's so cool. You'd want to do that. You really want to try that out. So, and then I've put some Posca paint pen circles around it as well. So now I'm going to collage in a piece of Dina Wakley words out of her word collection, and I've got my little picture there that I've printed off from Etsy, and I've printed her out onto some photo paper. So the other thing that I've got here is some of Tracy's stamps that I've stamped onto some deli paper. So because I'm going to add them in onto my page, and with the cotton rag paper, it actually is quite a thick textured paper, so when you stamp over the top of it, you don't actually get like a full stamped image. So a way of getting around that is to actually stamp onto some deli paper and then cut those out, which you can see I'm doing now, and then paste them in with a bit of collage medium or some regular gel, or whatever kind of matte medium stuff that you may have. They all pretty much work the same, although some are better than others, as I am learning as I experiment. I think that one that I use there is the regular gel from Golden, and it's gloss. And yeah, I really like that. It's quite funky. So I'm just drying off my collage pieces. So I've got my photo in there. I've got my little bird. I'm just drawing on some legs onto my bird, and I'm going around some of the other pictures with a food ball pen just to help bring those out a little bit as well from the background. Now I've got my Stabilo oil pencil, which I've just sharpened, and I'm just going around my image of my girl and my bird from Elena, and just adding those in so you can see the details a little bit more. Adding in a few doodles with some Posca paint pens, wetting that Stabilo or pencil around the edge, and I'm done. So here's a couple of pictures of the final page. I really hope you've enjoyed my video today, and I hope that you like and subscribe if you do like what you've seen, and leave me a comment below if you like. Okay, till next time, bye.